I am all ears. The Ghost Fancast.
Hello, welcome to the I'm All Ears podcast with me, Alva. Today, right, well, I'm not even going to really introduce anyone because y'all know who we are. We got important things to discuss. Guys, we got a fucking tour.
Yeah.
Woo!
Biggest ghost tour ever!
But before we get too excited, this has been one of the most stressful and slightly bittersweet tours, I think. We're gonna dive right in. How are we all feeling?
It's my first tour. But obviously my first tour had to be the one with the biggest amount of fuck-ups in it, because that's just how my life is. So
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm feeling a lot of emotions. Like, it was, it's funny because, like, the first thing that came out was the DVD announcement. And I was like, cool. And then I made a tweet being like, oh, if Ghost comes out with a chapter and a tour announcement right after this DVD announcement, I'm going to be pissed.
yeah.
And lo and behold, I am pissed. Not actually. I'm actually very excited, but also just like, oh my God, like, the smoke and Jesus meme? Like, that's just been me every fucking day.
It's been a lot. I mean, like we had, like you said, we had the Right Here, Right Now announcement, and then the tickets, and then like we'd already dropped a shit ton of money, and then we got the fucking Papa on a pew. Tobias, we're starving. Please,
I'm starving. Please.
Oh God. Okay.
someone who's good with money, help me. I'm starving.
Well, we'll get on to the money element a little bit later. So let's just to bring everyone up to speed on how we got here. So yeah, so Ghosts are going to be touring. It's going to be starting in Manchester on the 15th of April next year. Which is Easter week, which is I'm a little stressed for work reasons and getting time off, but
He
I'll delve
has
into that
risen,
later.
baby.
But he has risen.
He has risen, baby girl.
They're gonna be touring a few dates in the UK, which we're so excited for because it's been a while. And then they're gonna go on to Europe. They're gonna be going over to the States. They're gonna be playing Madison Square fucking Garden, and then they're gonna be wrapping up for now in Mexico on the 25th of September, I believe.
They have 2 dates in Mexico now.
Yeah, for now anyway. They said more dates are to come.
Yeah, so at the time of this recording, the only new date has been just a second day in Mexico.
Yeah. Off record, I'll hopefully get this out when I get back from Sweden. So how the fuck did we get here? So like you said, it was weird. What was it like? So we had the DVD announcement, and then was it the Sunday before Halloween? We started getting a bunch of cryptic posts from venues being like,
it was on the 27th, I think. That's when we saw, like, there was a couple venues in the US that were posting these, like, super cryptic things that had, like, a ghost image somewhere. Like, I think the first one was the one in, like, St. Paul, Minnesota, where it was like a picture. It was like a reel, but it was like the venue, and it was like a nighttime sky, and then like Papa just kind of flickered on the moon. It's like,
oh yeah,
guys, what the fuck is this? And then like basically a few hours after that, that's when like more venues were like posting stuff, because St. Paul didn't say anything. They just kind of posted that, just being like, woo. And everyone's like, what the fuck does this mean? And then some people thought it was just a Halloween thing. Like, guys, like, it's just Halloween. It's just a spooky band, and it's right before Halloween. They're just saying Happy Halloween. It's like, no!
yeah.
Why would they do that?
Wasn't it Baltimore second? They posted it was a venue in Baltimore, and they posted the plushie with the sign.
Yeah, and they said message from the clergy, and they're just like, oh, there's an announcement gonna happen at like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it was like, guys, I think something's actually gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, one thing I need to get off my chest a little bit that I'm really sad about is I think, wasn't it like one of the third venues that kind of came to light? There was this really I want to talk about the official poster later on, so I won't get too far ahead. But one of the venues posted what we've now seen in the poster as like the new face for this next tour with their venue, and everyone was saying it's AI, it's AI. And I was like, no, this looks very, very similar to Aaron Lee's work. And then it turns out it was Aaron Lee's work. So I'm just really pissed at people just jumping onto I know, like, we have got to be careful with AI, but I'm just very pissed that, like, this person's actually put a load of work into this, and it's just like, oh, it's AI. and
think
everyone was so quick to believe that.
I think
I'll
though
say real quick. I feel like this entire like tour announcement has just been like the pinnacle of jumping to assumptions
yeah.
and conclusions. That's
Mm,
what everyone's been doing since this tour got announced.
yeah.
I will say though, in like defense of people saying about the AI, we didn't know that was like an official image. Like, and I don't think anybody blamed the band. I think people just saw, oh, the venue has like put, into like an AI thing, spooky skeleton eyes or something,
Mm,
So like it was
Yeah.
less kind of aimed at the band and more just like, oh, the venue's done it, because like at the time it was the only one that was using the eyes, so
yeah,
like
yeah.
we had no idea that it was. And also, it is strange that they are the only ones who use the eyes.
Well,
It's
I
also
suppose.
strange. It's also strange that I want to say it was only like maybe like 8 venues that actually like posted something. That might be
Yeah,
that might not even be right. It might be like less. But there's only like a handful of like venues that like posted something, and all of them kind of posted like their own thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like some venues like actually like I think it was the one in Minnesota and then Atlanta. They posted like a picture of the venue, like a fancy picture of the
Mm,
venue with like a papa in the sky. And
yeah.
then like other people just had like someone dressed up as papa in front of the venue.
So
Mm.
funny.
And then what was it? Missouri did that Five Nights at Freddy's style video.
Yeah. Oh, I think what like really fucked us up though was when the Mexican venue posted. We were like, "Shit, Mexico's getting involved. This is gonna be serious." Because like
Yeah,
usually, I think we were all kind of expecting the next tour to be like, "Of course, it's gonna be the US and maybe Europe."
yeah,
So then like Mexico getting involved was like, "Fucking hell, this is gonna be huge."
And then I think the morning of before we got the like official announcement, that's when like a date popped up in Germany, like online. Like someone was able to see like a date for Germany.
Oh yeah, you were tracking the
I
actual
was on top
venues.
of this.
You were making maps.
Yeah, I made a map for all the shows that like had like like the venues that had a confirmed post of being like, oh yeah, this is definitely about ghosts.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, Mexico City the day before the announcement posted a date and just being like, oh, it was in September. I was like, September? What? Oh,
Oh,
oh, this is soon. This is soon. Oh, and then like Germany popped up, and I was like, what is this fucking tour? And
yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah, because that was like May, and it's like, wait, so Mexico's in September. This is gonna be May. When the fuck is what is happening? What is happening? But then, like, we
Mhm.
knew this announcement was coming. What was it going to be at like 10 in the States time, about 2 p.m. in the UK. And then suddenly it was around noon, wasn't it? That it was like chapter 18. What a fiasco! It's dropping.
Yeah, no, they announced the chapter 18 came out at 9 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
So it came out an hour earlier, and then so the venues got the time wrong, but it was at 9 Eastern Standard Time, and then that's when we got the announcement, and then they're just like, by the way, pre-sales go on tomorrow.
oh, I know the fucking
very
drop.
strange.
I want to quickly. I'm not going to dive too deep into the chapter because it's like it's you can go watch it yourself. But obviously, can we talk about like the shitting? I knew this was going to happen, but it still shit me up. Like we see obviously Copia like looking at the door that we see. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert for right here, right now. But I'm sure you've all seen it by now. Obviously at the end of right here, right now, you see a shadow of who's going to potentially be the next Papa. And then chapter 18 starts with Copia looking through that same door, and you see the same shadow, and they're about to open the door, and of course it's locked.
yeah.
So in the meantime, we're sister who okay, I hate to talk about this. So Copia is now apparently in charge, but he doesn't know there's a tour because he's like, "What tour?"
It's so funny. Also,
Tell,
I
tell
still
them
love.
about the tour. What tour?
I love the continuing joke of him not really understanding how any of the ghosts work.
You have a
He pulls a
radio?
radio. You have a radio? Yeah, it's just like he's like. I love that he wants to be in charge, but still has like no idea what's happening. And I do think that like maybe it's a reflection of what Tobias is feeling. Maybe I'm in charge. I have no idea what anybody is doing at any time outside of what I'm doing.
um But yeah, so yeah, then the chapter goes through all the cities. I forgot to mention we've got a
Lane
fucking
show.
date in Linköping. as it said, Lynn shopping. That's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, they run through like they started reeling off the dates, and straight away it was like Manchester, and then my ass being British was like, what the fuck? And then it was like it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, biggest tour
Birmingham.
date, fucking Birmingham, home of heavy metal, mwah, chef's kiss. It just kept going, and I was like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And I was like, because we already said in our friendship group, right, if they ever play Madison Square Garden, we're going. But that might not be for a little while. Probably won't even be the next tour. It'll be maybe like once they've established into the next record. And that, nope, Madison Square Garden. Oh fuck, I've got to book that now. Oh no, it's
And it was
huge.
they listed it like at the end, like, you know, they went through all the dates in the U.S. and they're like okay, we're ending it off in Houston, but Ghost is also playing in Madison Square Garden, and it's like, oh fuck, on July 22nd. I'm like, no, fuck.
It's so cool that they're getting to do it. Like
Oh,
it
I'm
shows you the
excited.
success of the film, though. I think like it shows you like how
Yeah.
all of us going to see the movie 10 times each actually really did help. So you're welcome.
You're welcome. So we will like, especially like our group, we like all collated together. I was like, right, what the fuck are we doing? Where are we planning? What are we doing? This? Oh, the tickets are on sale tomorrow. Fuck.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the tickets. So they went on sale, but the pre-sale was on the Tuesday.
So the very next day.
Literally the very next day. We've got to be prepared to drop our money.
Yeah.
Or lack of fake money that I did.
Yeah.
So
The whisper of money to come.
so if I'm going to be honest, there's not. It's only. I'd say like the way the VIP is working is only maybe a slight difference to how the US has run for the last two like couple of tours. However, I think for European fans, this is such a big shock to us because we've never had any sort of like, at least post Prequel era, we've not. Everything's been pretty much GA. So this whole tier of VIP thing is very new. So the VIP options, I don't have the exact prices because everywhere's obviously very different in each country, and it was dependent on dynamic pricing, which I'll get to as well. So we've got 4 different categories essentially. There's the Apostle front row, which is like you get to go on stage, which is insane, and it guarantees you a spot center barrier, which controversial, and we'll get onto that later. There's the Anointed package, which is basically a VIP 2. I believe you get sort of like an early entry and type of merch. And then you get Ascended, which is another type of early entry, but I don't think you get as much merch. And then there's the Member of the Clergy Pass, which is basically, as far as I'm aware, you get almost like not quite GA, not quite Ascended, but you can go to as many shows as you want, depending on whether you buy a USA pass or a UK European pass. And a lot of people had thoughts on this, being like, oh, it's gonna be all the annoying people get it, and like, but really, it's quite smart. I did the calculations, and what I spent on the 5 shows that I'm planning on going to, I could have pretty much bought this and maybe got better perks for some of the shows. Also, if you're being mean, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
People can do what they want with their money.
A lot of people have saved money specifically for this. Like, I know
Yeah.
that's something that I did. That I know that since the last tour, especially because like my shows got canceled, so I got refunds for those tickets.
You just put it aside.
Like I put it aside, and I've been saving money like every paycheck. I mean, you shouldn't have to justify your finances, but
No.
I'm just saying, like, everyone is kind of like in their own thing. Like, some people save money, some people have credit cards, some people like do all these different things, and ultimately, what they do with their money is their own business. So that's just like my main thing I want to say. It's just like I don't like people who are like judging people who want to spend their money how they want to. Now, I do understand the concern that like that with there being so many quote unquote VIP tiers, like with the with the 4 VIP tiers, it's just like, oh well, like it means all of Barrier is going to be VIP, which I know is like, I know this might be shocking for the Europeans because you haven't had it in so long, but it's also like pretty much kind of how it was in the US, if I'm going to be
it's
honest.
been like that for years.
Yeah, so it's kind of been like that. I mean, like, you might get lucky, like, with GA, like, sometimes there might be, like, an opening that pops up, but, like, it's been like that since they've had VIP. With the VIP tiers, like, honestly, like, Apostle's really, like, Apostle and Member of the Clergy are the only like two brand new ones, because
Yeah.
the Anointed ticket, it looks like it's the exact same thing as like the previous Anointed / Imperium ticket that they had the last few tours.
Oh yeah, because we're getting the museum, which I'm pretty sure is just the Spillways Lounge for the Apostle and Anointed.
Yeah, but probably like 2.0. So
Yeah.
I think so it's like the same thing. So like what am I saying? So Anointed is basically just what Anointed and Imperium were the last couple tours. Ascended is basically what Tour VIP was, which is like,
Mm.
oh, you still get like a goodie bag, but you don't get like all this different access.
Yeah.
Apostle is just like brand new because it's like, oh, that one you get like a pre-stage tour. So you get to look at the stage before anybody even enters, and then you get a picture. From what my understanding, I think that one is like stupid limited.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because if you look at the details of it, it specifically guarantees center barrier. I don't know if anyone here has been to a ghost show, but center barrier is small. It is
Yeah.
very small. When they say center barrier, that's probably like what, like 10 people?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably
Maybe a
even
little bit
less.
more. Yeah. I'd say maybe about 10, yeah.
But you
It
know what I
depends
mean?
on if
So
they, yeah, depending on if they're counting the side of the center barrier, like on the catwalk, or if it's
Mm.
literally just that front flat bit, like
I
front on.
I s- I interpret it as that very first bit that's literally like right in front of the stage, like not a corner, like not the corner, not the side, just like literally like
Right.
straight on. So especially because like I know a lot of us got onto those queues really early, and like we still weren't able to get it, but we've gotten like the Anointed and Imperium before, usually no problem. So I think that one's like really really limited, and also like if you gotta tour the stage and you gotta take a picture on the stage before you let everybody else in, like you can't have that many people do that.
No.
Nah.
That's that's just my own opinion on it. And then the Member of the Clergy, you just get let in after VIP. And really, like I don't see that many people who purchased it. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that did, but it's probably just like, it's just like, oh, if you have the means to go to multiple shows, but you don't want to buy a ticket for all these different shows, like it's just a one thing to like cover that many costs. And there's a lot of fans that like this is what they do. They just they're able to go to a lot of shows. This just takes the hassle out of it. Metallica does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could have done with that member pass last year. It would have
Right.
it would have been quite useful for me because I was able to tour last year. I can't do it this year, but or next year rather so much. But it's I get the frustration because it does sort of feel like now because I've done both sides, so I kind of feel that you do feel like last year in Europe was fun because like you felt like you earned your spot because everyone was in the same boat, and so we had
Yeah.
to queue and you fought for your spot
And people
and you
bitched about
claimed it.
that too.
Huh?
People bitched about that too.
Well, people bitched about that too, but like it was
It's the
like
same people in the front rows again because they're getting there early, bitch. Shut
yeah.
up.
But then there's the flip side, like in the States, which has now come over here, where it's like you have to buy your spot almost, and it's like not like I was just straight up like I can't do the amount of shows I did, and like
Yeah.
I've just had to accept now that I'm wondering if he was pissed off at just seeing the same faces and he fucking hates us all, and he's
And
just
he's
like I'm
like,
gonna
all
perform for
right,
different people.
introduce these VIP packages, so only like a few people could do it. Oh, surprise, it's the same bitches.
um,
I couldn't get any VIP. I'm too poor. I couldn't get any of them, and I'm quite sad because I'd like to have seen the Spillways Lounge, but these are my first two shows, so hopefully
yeah.
like I can see it another time.
I've
But
done a healthy balance, I hope, of like I because I'm turning 30 next year, so I've splashed out on like my hometown show. New York, we've done a little, we've not got the very top, but like we've bought a VIP for that, and then like I think I've got a very low VIP for Linköping, and everything else is GA. Like
yeah,
Didn't you get something for Birmingham?
yeah, the top one. So I splurged out and got like the top package. But like I just want to go on record before anyone yells at me. It's a birthday present from my partner, my family. Like so many people have pitched in to help with that.
yeah, but here again, you shouldn't have to justify
I know, but
getting it. But like, and if anyone has a problem with it, it's their own fucking issues. Like, I don't. It's just so strange. Like I was so like leading up to this tour, I was so excited before even because I kept thinking like, oh, I can't wait for them to announce the tour because I remember seeing how excited everyone was for the last tour. But the second they announced the tour, everybody was like trying
Super
to eat
negative.
each other alive, like
It
immediately
was
negative.
awful.
Like I know
Oh,
we can talk about the phones in a minute, but like that there in itself was a fucking nightmare. But like just people talking about the VIP. But what the funnier thing is the hypocrisy of the anger. Oh, like ghosts are selling out. Oh my god, he's like one that person was like he's just as bad as the corrupt church he talks about, and you're like, fucking grow up.
Yeah, and then the same person bought like tickets.
And they're like, oh, I got anointed for such and such, and I'm like, where's this righteous anger you had fucking yesterday?
that was something that like really like bothered me when this was going on because it was like all the same people that had like issues with it or had like
Yeah.
something big to say. Like the very next day, they got tickets, or better yet, some of them even got VIP. It's like so.
Yeah.
It's like
Literally,
you can be a little annoyed about it, but like I don't know, to be all like super self righteous about it, be like,
I'm not gonna like throw anyone under the bus, or maybe I will. I don't know. But there was this one
Well,
person who literally said "death to Tobias Forge," and then was like, "Ah, I had to buy ticket. This is my last show. I bought tickets. Death to Tobias Forge." I'm like, "You're that mad? Why are you buying tickets?"
yeah. It sucks that they're
hmm,
my favorite band. They
you
don't
don't
sound
have
like
to
it.
see them.
You don't.
But it's no, but it's like they don't sound like it at the minute. Like,
So like we got a lot of information on the poster. So not only did we
Mhm.
get this new face, so we also sort of got the color scheme. Wasn't it a reference to is it Cape Fear?
yeah,
Fucking
Yeah.
nerd. So we've got the question of like who's this new guy? It looks kind of like a half mask situation. But also on the which we'll get into a little bit of like what we're going to think is going to happen a little bit later on because obviously there's a lot to say about that. But yeah, on
Mhm.
the bottom of the poster, it says at first it was like we thought they missed an asterisk. How do you say
Yeah.
it?
Asterisk.
Asterisk off of like a specific show saying this will be a phone free experience, but it turns out it's for the whole fucking tour, and people are pissed.
Yeah.
Go off.
That man saw everyone's eyeballs during the LA show and went, I'm never going back.
He
He saw
was
every
spoiled.
face. He literally saw every face. He saw everyone having fun. He got to experience the shows he dreamed of having. And he was like, why would I ever go back? And like I do love the fact that Tobias Forge continues to be like, I don't care if other people don't like me. Because like whenever it was announced the tour was phone free, you had a couple of like other band people being like other metal bands not being like, oh, it's so stupid, you know, people should be allowed to do what they want, blah blah blah. And I'm like, he's just like sitting at home like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I am kind of sad because obviously, like, I grew like a lot of like recognition from
Yeah.
taking photos and stuff, and I fucking love taking photos, and I like
I
try and do it with meaning rather than just like bullshit. But
yeah, I built
and
my
it's
TikTok platform off of a series of videos
yeah,
that are all about the little moments it shows that people record. But like I understand where he's coming from because
yeah,
like as a performer, like especially since COVID. Like since COVID kind of not it's COVID's technically not ended. I don't know if people like, you know, I don't know if people know this, COVID's still here. But since
mm.
lockdown ended and people started going back to shows and stuff, first, concert etiquette has gone out the fucking window.
Oh god, yeah,
Right out the fucking
Mm.
window. And second, people are like because if you look at videos of ghost shows before 2020 and then after like 2022, like the phones are insane. The difference in the amount of phones because like
mm.
before there was phones, people were recording. He was fine with it. Like he would play up to it and stuff. Obviously, there's that like infamous video where he's trying to cerate somebody as Terzo and he's like puts his hand over the phone and stuff like that. There, like
But
if
that was an
it's
anomaly.
yeah, but that was an anomaly at the time. Like it didn't happen because people were like, "I'm getting cerased," flinging their phone behind them. Talk to me, daddy. You know, like but like the amount of shows I saw after, like, because I see a lot of these videos, like I said, because I make these videos on TikTok, I see a lot of these videos, and the amount of videos of him trying to erase people and him like hand motioning them to like put your phone down and then kind of just going and fuck it and find somebody else.
Mm,
Like it's insane. Like I can understand why he's mad, and also
yeah,
like the world of concerts existed before phones, you
yeah.
know, like and existed before people could bring digital cameras and stuff, you know, because like I used to go on to shows a lot in like from like 2007 to 2015. That was a kind of period of time where I went to a lot of shows, and I used to bring a digital camera with me because phones were
Same.
still ass at the time. And I would take photos at the beginning of the show when everybody came out, like on us here, and then during acoustic bits. That was it. The rest of the time, this thing was dangling off my wrist, causing fucking bruises up my arms. But like the absolute vitriol of people being like, I won't be able to record my shows. I'm paying money to go see this, blah blah blah. And it's like, you'll be fine. And then talking about like medical issues and stuff like that. It's like, do you really think these venues and the people who run these pouches are going to risk lawsuits because you can't get access to your phone for medical issues?
Yeah, Yonder's a massive company. It's been going for ages. Like Jack White's been using them, Tool's been using them. I mean, nothing came bad of LA. I'm pretty sure it was all handled in LA from what I gathered.
There were no issues in LA, like realistically. Like there was like a case of like I think like one or two people like were able to like sneak a phone in or something.
Yeah.
And one of them got banned. So
For life.
for life.
Yeah.
But I mean, me and Alva, at least, like we have experienced ghost shows with phones and without phones. So I mean, I can say from my personal experience, while I understand the sentiment of wanting to remember the shows that you went to and maybe like get like videos, and yeah, maybe it's like kind of fun to like share it with people online and share it with your friends and everything and to look back on it. But I at least I'm speaking for myself when I say this. LA was like probably one of the most fun shows I've ever been to, and obviously I understand that there are things that happen in LA that are unique and didn't happen at other shows.
Yeah.
But even like the normal bits, it was just so fun. It was so engaging, and like it was just a good time, and it's just like it was fun just to see everyone react. It was fun hearing everybody react to it. So like I totally understand where he's coming from, where he was just like, yeah, like I feel like if I was a performer, yeah, that would have spoiled me because of the timeline of it too. Because he had the LA shows and that was like fucking great. And then he went to South America, and the incident where like the Cerise thing where like he kept trying to tell the person to put their phone down, then he just gave up and Cerise somebody else. That was after LA. So that was in Chile, I think.
He'd got a taste.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, he got a taste for what shows are like without phones. And then like not too long after that, then he had that experience in Chile, and it's just like, yeah, like I understand.
I've made my mind up now.
He's also a guy that's grown up on, like he's watched, like he always talks about like watching Rolling Stones and stuff growing up, so he's grown up with the idea in his head of what concerts were like in like the 70s and 80s, and like obviously there was no phones, you know what I mean? There was like people may have had a disposable camera or whatever, but like there was none of that, and he's probably always wanted to experience that show. Not the ones that he's been. He like fast forward to that man that's like, I was born at the wrong time. I should have been born like 10 years earlier than I was. 20 years earlier than I was. No, I was gonna say, but also another thing that I kept seeing was people saying, "Oh, ghosts are only as popular as they are now because of social media," and it's like, no, because people are talking about like TikTok and stuff, and it's like, well, if you're going to be honest with that, the reason they blew up on TikTok wasn't because of TikTok videos. It was because somebody used Mariana Cross on a popular edit. Like, had nothing to do with their shows,
Like yeah, the interesting and gross an interesting ghost peaked with like Mariana Cross being used it was in a Stranger Things edit. And people were like, what is this beautiful sound or whatever? And then they looked it up, and then like the sound and song blew up. So Ghost became popular because of their music. And then obviously the videos like started posting because there was this new interest in them. But ultimately the interest in them grew from the music, which is how it should happen anyway.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be completely honest. And it's just like I have my own opinion in that like I feel like because like they kind of like grew in popularity, that a lot of people have the mindset of like, oh, they want to like record all these videos because it's so popular. They're trying to like
get views on
grasp
TikTok.
That, the clout and everything. And it's just like it's just like I know there are people who record for like proper reasons, but then also there's going to be a lot of people that record for not the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what he's tired of.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like if we look back, obviously social media has had a play on their development because obviously there's the whole MySpace thing, but obviously you couldn't get MySpace on your phone back then. And yeah, I think with me it was like in LA, I had fun because I kind of knew I was going to see it again in some foot. Like I was like, oh, it's being filmed by them. It's all great. So I'm really hoping we get something like that, like what Metallica do, where they will post like pro shots after shows. Because it would be sad to have absolutely nothing. Because at this point, we could fucking lie. Yeah, he took a shit on stage and then like rolled in it.
Yeah,
Like, and
he wedgied one of the ghouls during Cerise.
yeah,
I don't know
and
why
it's
he did that.
He came out tits out on stage.
Yeah.
yeah, there's little
And he's
things
like,
like there is
But
little things like that, not knowing like if it's going to be like documented or not. That I will miss because I love watching that type of stuff in
I
between shows.
the
But
thing is
yeah,
that I think it will, just because like I feel like a lot of bands do that now. Like even
yeah,
even like bands that obviously still allow phones in venues, they still like post like something. Like Ghost
Mm.
before would just post like would just post pictures.
yeah,
But I'm assuming that with the success of right here right now, that maybe they would be able to like do like kind of these more like professional recordings and everything. Like even if it's just like a highlight reel.
mm.
Um just something. I assume that's something they would do. I mean, they've even done it. I think they did in Denver. It was because that was the show that Lizzie and Vicky went to, and that's the one that
Oh,
Lizzie's famous in.
oh yeah,
But like so, like they have recorded like kind of like a highlight video of a show
yeah,
before. I'm just assuming it's going to be easier when you don't have phones everywhere, because
yeah.
they only got a couple like close up crowd shots, and it was
Mm.
like like the three people that didn't have their phone up.
Talking about like obviously making things easier, I will say with these like VIP things and obviously how it's going to be trickier to get close now. I am the benefit of no phones is like, I mean, I'll still struggle because I'm like 5 foot, but like at
Mm,
least it'll be easier to see the stage. But you said something about which is I think is a really important point about like you say like I assume, and this is what it's the fucking problem. I'm not saying you right now. I'm just saying in general.
Mm.
That everything right now that's getting so heated and people are getting so pissed at is literally just based off assumption and not facts right now.
yeah,
Mm.
Alana, you were going to bring up that because
yeah,
you messaged you messaged the
I,
venue and Casey messaged Yonder themselves and
yeah,
took action to try and like hush some of these like wild sparring theories of like I don't have my phone, I'm going to die, and that's like gonna be on the band and there's gonna be a lawsuit, and I'm like, you are
yeah,
catastrophizing way out. So yeah, like like you
yeah.
say, you emailed them.
Yeah, because I'm bringing my boyfriend to the O2 show, and he has a lot of anxiety. So I was like, I'll email O2 and see what they say. Because I was like, honestly, I was expecting back an email of just them being like, hmm. you know, because like that's just what you expect from venues. But like I got this really good email back that was like, hang on, I'll pull it up actually and read it word for word so people don't think I'm lying. I was because like when I posted it originally, I wasn't posting it trying to like ease people. I was just more posting it just being like, oh wow.
Yeah. But also I want to like point out that obviously like I think Katie's not I'm not this sounds like I'm discrediting you, I promise I'm not.
No, no, no,
Um
no, no.
Casey's email from Yonder themselves was just so I was so glad she did that because obviously like we spoke a little bit off the camera about this, me and Cammy, about like some venues don't even know who's fucking performing on the day of the show, let alone what the fucking phone policy is. So like
Yeah,
the fact that the O2 is really good at being like, yeah, we're gonna do this is like really good handling. But obviously not every venue is gonna be clued up because they don't.
yeah.
It's probably
I've
some
got
admin guy sitting in an office, not even sure what the fucking show schedule is.
um
They're just booking the tickets.
I've got the email here. It says, "Hi, thank you for getting in touch with us. If a guest requires the use of a smart device to monitor a medical condition, Yonder supervisors will issue the guest with a wristband to indicate that they are allowed to use their device. However, this wristband does not give the guest permission. Does not give the guest permission for the guest to film or photograph the show, and if caught doing so, the guest will be asked to leave the arena. I hope this helps. Please don't hesitate to get back in touch if any further inquiries. Kind regards, Lauren." Thank you, Lauren.
Love you,
Love you.
Lauren.
Thank you.
I'm gonna bring up Katie's email as well, from Yonder itself.
Yeah.
1 second.
But then
Oh, no.
I had a lot of people like quote tweeting me being like, You know, but this isn't the same for every venue. I've had people, like, there's been people who've messaged and they've been told shit out of luck, and I'm like, I guarantee you that that's not the case, because
Yeah, I
again,
guarantee you that's
that's
just
a
a box
lawsuit
of.
waiting to happen.
Or
Yeah.
because I think something to remember, just to really drive the point home, is just that the venues is just the location of the show. The venues aren't in charge of like all these different things. So like, if you call the venue, they're not going to be able to answer any questions about VIP because they don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like the on the day of the Kia Forum shows, like Alba can attest to this. Like we were like people were like arguing with security people because they had no idea what was going on, and we were getting all this different information. Like nothing was clear until Casey showed up.
Yeah, and like the Yonder people, like at LA, they were like a separate. They weren't they weren't employees of the venue. They were Yonder
Yeah,
brought in, which is probably also why the tickets are a little bit higher. Which is what I'll get into that later as well. They're Yonder staff. They come round and they work for that venue. They're contracted to do that and just
yeah,
that job. So
Mhm.
I've got Katie's email from Yonder themselves, and it says, "Hi Katie, thank you for reaching out. Blah blah blah. Yonder event managers are trained to accommodate medical exemptions on site. Upon arrival, guests can notify Yonder staff they require immediate access to their device for medical purposes. Guests will then be issued a wristband that exempts them from Yonder. Guests are reminded of the phone-free nature of the performance and are encouraged to only use their device for the intended medical purposes. Enjoy the show." Pretty much exactly what the O2 said, but
yeah.
from Yonder as well. So, yeah, there shouldn't be any issue.
So like everybody stop like acting like ghosts want you to drop dead in the middle of fucking of their show, because I don't think he'd also be happy about that either.
Yeah.
Like, oh
No,
no, all these people just suddenly dying. What's happening?
there seems to be a lot of confusion with like where your phone is getting locked up, because someone was like they're not going to be able to call their taxi home. I'm like, literally as soon as you exit the arena, it's out.
Yeah, they're not like taking it off you with at gunpoint and then putting it inside a
Yeah.
piranha pit. You know,
You keep
like
it on your person as well.
and then
They're
you're not
not like
gonna have to
kicking
do
you
like
out
a
at the
fucking
door. Like, oh my god, you have your phone on you. You need to leave.
Mm.
yeah, and like it's just I feel like it's just one of these things where I feel like people want to immediately find the negative. And if you try to find any positive, or if you try to like rationalize anything, you're immediately a dick writer. And I'm like, listen, I'm a dick writer for a different reason. All right, right now, it's not this.
It's just spitting facts.
Like I'm just stating the facts that I know as somebody who has emailed the venue. You know what I mean? And like again, like people can be mad at like the prices of tickets and stuff like that there, because like whenever I again like back in my day, the tickets were like 20 quid. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And that was the general admission ticket, was 20 quid into the O2 arena. And then I just had to pay recently to get general admission tickets into the O2 arena for Ghost. It was like 70 quid. And that's like you know what I mean? It's just like it's also as well, can I just say, as somebody who hasn't actually actively looked for concert tickets in a decade, why the fuck is it suddenly so overcomplicated?
Oh, I know.
Because like I remember like literally in the late 2000s, when you were buying tickets off Ticketmaster, you'd go on Ticketmaster and like there was no pre-sales. There was no like, because like there was like 50 different pre-sales, because they had like the band pre-sale, then you had the O2 pre-sale like in the UK for the UK shows. There was the O2 pre-sale, the band pre-sale, then there was the MasterCard pre-sale, then there was
Live
venue
Nation.
pre-sale. Live Nation had one. Fucking
Spotify.
Fangora magazine had one, and I'm like, where have you got one? Where have you come from? You know? So by the time the tickets actually come out, the only tickets that are kind of left are either the ones they held back for general admission or resale tickets, you know? And you're like, huh? Because like again, like whenever, like again, like I haven't been to shows or anything like that, or if I have been, they've been very small shows where it's like I know that it's like the tickets are like a £10 or £20 or whatever, and it's like a local band. But like for big acts or anything, I haven't bought tickets in 10 years, and like back 10 years ago, it'd be like the tour was announced and you'd get maybe a month or maybe 2 months, and then suddenly then the tickets would be up for sale, and it was like everybody beating the shit out of each other trying to get them, you know. And there was no fucking dynamic pricing bullshit. Like the second that that concert sold out, that's it. And then you had to go meet, if you wanted a show to get a ticket for a show that you didn't have a ticket for, you had to go find an old man standing outside the venue who smelled of cigarette smoke, who was wearing a long trench coat and had tickets that you hope to God were not fake. You know what I mean? Like, You know, like, hey kid, you want to buy a ticket? And he's like, opens his jacket up, and you're like, oh god. But yeah, now it's like they don't even have like it's also really strange because I remember venues used to have police officers outside the venues to stop ticket touts, and they would like rip the tickets up that they were trying to sell and stuff like that there. Whereas now Ticketmaster have like opened the door to them and went, actually, do you want to set up shop on the website?
Yeah. I want to talk about this quickly then. So let's talk about the prices. So they are expensive. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I remember paying like, because GA for the UK floor was about like £70 to £80, and I was paying that for like Metallica like several years ago. I'm like, this is Metallica level shit. But you know, the cost of living, blah blah blah. We're getting
Metallica
we're having to
now.
pay. Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna have to pay like for Yonder. Obviously the production, things like that is a big show. But as far as I'm aware, I'm not talking about people reselling tickets at a higher venue. I'm talking about Ticketmaster themselves. As far as I'm aware, in the UK, any like tickets, if they came available, was still £70. Like, say if someone checked out their basket and
Yeah.
released one, it still stayed at £70 up until it sold out. The US, on the other hand, because I once I got MSG, I was and my tickets, and I was kind of like, okay, I don't need to panic now because everything's I'm sorted now. I've been paying attention to a lot of like how all the different venues are selling, and just out of interest, just seeing where what's selling well, where's not, and the shock I've seen of like them the like GA floor rise like I can't remember the venue somewhere in the States. A GA ticket is like nearly $300, and I'm like, you may as well just get VIP for that price because of the dynamic pricing. And I'm like, that's insane. But ironically, the UK sold out. Obviously, that has to do with like the fact we've not had an arena tour since 22. We had Download Festival, but like that one,
It's also the first shows of the tour.
it's also the first shows of the tour and things like that. You
Yeah.
know, it's the US, the UK's done very well. Europe also kind of done very well. It's maybe not as like hectic, apart from Linköping that sold out, but that's for obvious reasons. You know, you can still get tickets here and there, but a lot of places are selling out still. The US, oof,
Also,
it's not good.
I think I think you'll see ticket prices, ticket sales go up in the new year because people are like prioritizing.
Well,
You
yeah, the
know,
holidays are coming up.
yeah, Christmas is coming, so like I guarantee you, at Christmas time you're gonna see a lot of fucking tickets pop.
Well, yeah,
You
but
know,
it's
I've also noticed that a lot of the tickets that are on that are still on the US, like if you were to go to Ticketmaster right now to purchase tickets, a lot of them are verified resales.
yeah, the little pink dots.
Yeah, so a lot of them are like that right now. But there are still like venues like I was looking at Miami because like I don't know if I'm gonna go, but I was just looking and I saw that they still have VIP tickets in Miami.
Hmm.
So it's just like it's just not selling. It's just not selling in some places. So I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know.
said though before this tour came out, because I know like before the tour came out, everybody was kind of like rightly for the UK, because UK like you said, you know, this is the first kind of proper tour for the UK since 2022, and like obviously it's the first tour, like the first dates of the new tour, so like it went nuts. But like as I was saying on the build up to this, Ghost don't ever really sell out shows.
Yeah.
Like again, it's like special shows will sell out, and special kind of areas will sell out. Like, you know, like you said, like shopping will sell out because people want to go, you know, to see, like, to watch him play his hometown, you know. And obviously, like, again, like the UK, because like Manchester went mad because like it's the first of the new tour, and people want to be at the first show of the new era so they can be the first people to see the new goals look like, and the new tour, the stage, what it looks like, and all the kind of new banter and shit that's going to happen. So yeah, but like when you look at like even the last American tour, they didn't sell it everywhere, you know, and so like I'm not surprised that they aren't, like, you know, because like again, like we are inside a little Ghost bubble where we're like, oh, they're super popular, you know. But if you kind of step outside that bubble for 2 seconds and look back round, the amount of people that are still like, who the fuck are Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
The the thing I want to discuss as well quickly is this is a bit of a sensitive topic. From what little I know about like how Ghost works and how the music industry works, just from a creative freelancer who dabbles in it, people are saying like these fucking prices. Tobias is a greedy bastard. I can almost say at least 85% that he has no say in this.
100%.
Loma are setting stuff up. Live Nation have got contracts with Ticketmaster, and Live Nation have contracts with like Universal and like all these people. I'm pretty sure Tobe can have a voice. Like, I mean, Robert Smith managed to like fucking like kill it with Ticketmaster, but obviously he's Robert
That's
Smith.
Robert Smith.
It's Robert
Yeah.
Smith. They're gonna listen to him because it's Robert Smith. Whereas Tobias is gonna be like, "Hey, can we maybe not do dynamic pricing?" And it's like, "Who the fuck are
It's like,
you?"
who the fuck are you?
And I'm not saying this to dick ride, but I'm just saying, like, and this is again, I don't know. I'm assuming, but just from what I've seen and heard, and like how especially because since we've read the lawsuit and
Yeah.
seen how the contracts are tied up, it would shock me if he's like, I'm gonna rake in millions from this. And even if he's like, okay, we'll bump the prices up, but in return, we're gonna have a fucking amazing show. Like,
Yeah, more pyrotechnics during year
Yeah.
0.
because
if that's the case, I'm cool.
Yeah.
because like we've seen in the past that like Tobias puts a lot of money into the show itself. The show is like
Yeah.
super theatrical. There's the pyrotechnics, the costumes. Like, I mean, some people have actually found like the actual like pieces, like, for the previous costumes. Like, those costumes are fucking expensive.
Oh yeah.
The pyrotechnics, and then even when they did the re-imperator, they brought in like a new stage design and everything. Like,
Mm.
he puts money into those shows, and they're super elaborate and theatrical, and like a lot of time and money goes into it. So I mean, it just is what it is. Also, I feel like a lot of people forget about this. I feel like I've only seen one person talk about it. Then they had that thing where foreign artists pay like higher fees to play in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it went
that's
up.
a factor too.
Yeah, it went from I think it went from $250 a person to over 1,200.
Wasn't it like
Yeah,
10 grand?
so-
I thought it was...
Yeah. No, it's between it went between hang on, because I retweeted it. I was like, what the fuck? Hang on, let me see.
Mm.
What was
Point
it?
being is just like there's a lot of things that are being paid for. So like a lot of money is going towards just the actual like stage, the costume, the actual like the pyrotechnics.
The
You gotta pay.
salaries.
Yeah, you have to pay the salaries of like the touring band members. You have to
And now you
pay.
got to pay for Yonder.
You have to pay for Yonder, and you're also like paying the venue fees because venues have their own fees. So a lot of money goes into like putting on a tour. And honestly, compared to some bands, it's not that bad. Considering the level that you're getting with these shows, it's not that bad. Like, Jesus Christ, I've seen these people like complain about like all these ticket prices. I'm like, have you seen Metallica's VIP packages?
I just found the price increase. Yeah, it says from April 1st, the Visa increased for 129%, from $460 to $1,055.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very
and that's-
expensive to play in the United States.
Yeah, but that's because people were going, oh, but like, there's only like 2 people who aren't American. It's like, but this isn't just the band; it's also
crew.
their crew, and a lot of them are British.
Yeah.
So like, they're paying for Tobias and maybe Per if he's still there.
That's another topic.
Another topic, but yeah, like them two, and I know, I don't know their names. The bass player, he's Canadian.
Oh,
And Hayden's Australian.
Hayden's Australian.
I think he's got a US visa now, though, if I remember correctly.
Oh, well.
Well, them two, but you know what I mean. But like, then obviously, then you have all of the staff.
Yeah, 2 to 3 band members that are actually not American, but then
Ryan's
don't
not
have.
American.
No.
Yeah, but it's like the crew. Most of the crew is not American.
I feel like a lot of people make kind of comments on the comments of like seeing people talk about this tour kind of prove to me that a lot of people really don't understand the music industry.
No.
You know, because like we always talk about the fact that Tobias is the like he's the head of Ghost. It's like, yes, he is the head of Ghost, but he is also not the head of Loma Vista. He has a manager that he has, like, because like people don't understand, like whenever money comes to him, that money immediately has to go back out again because he has to pay his manager, he has to pay lawyers. He
The
then has to pay-
20% he has to give to Rick Sales, which is
Yeah,
in the
Rick Sales.
contract. You can
Yeah.
see that online.
Yeah, Rick Sales gets like 20%. Then he has another manager that gets like 15%. Then he has to pay his lawyers, which get another, because like he doesn't just have lawyers for lawsuits. He has lawyers all the time that have to deal with copyright and things like that. There, that goes through him, that goes through them. He has to then pay his, like, he has a personal assistant. He has to pay them. He then has to pay back any money that was loaned to him from Loma Vista for the tour.
And
So
the
by the time,
album.
and the album as well, like to make the album, to make the tour, to make merch, all this, he has to then pay all that back. Like, I'm not saying the man's broke. He's not. But what I'm
He's not.
saying is, he's not as, like, he's not living in a massive mansion in the middle of LA.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not, like, like any money that comes into him will then, like, you can see where it goes back into the band. You know
It's
what I mean?
invested.
Yeah, like,
Mm.
because like he obviously has, like, he has a family, and he has to, he likes luxe things as well. Like, look at the leather jackets and shit he buys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking do it. You've earned it. You've been running around stage like fucking for a year, 2 years. You
Yeah.
make the music. You can buy all the shit you want to buy, but you can see where the money goes back into the band because again, like we've said multiple times over this podcast, that he has always had the idea, and it's a good idea, of looking bigger than you are. You know, because like if you have some, like, I'm gonna bring up Ronnie Raddick because he, like, if you ever look at Fallen in versus stages, it's literally a couple of
backdrop.
risers and a screen backdrop where he's showing videos of teenagers who are calling him a dickhead. You know, and they're setting their drummer on fire because God forbid they know how to fucking set up pyrotechnics. And then you hear, like, oh, Ronnie Raddick buys multi-million-dollar mansion in the hills of Los Angeles, and you're like there's where his money's going.
Yeah.
Himself, you know. And like, I know as well, like, sometimes his videos as well, like, you can see sometimes look really elaborate, and it's mostly just green screen and him wearing a weird like Batman outfit. And then, but like with Tobias, his money goes into buying retro band t-shirts that nobody's ever heard of before. Him and 4 other people heard about this band. And he's like, look at the t-shirt I have now. You can't even read the thing on it.
Basically, his money goes towards his hyperfixations and his passion project.
Yeah, and like, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not a lot of money. It's not as much money as you think.
Also, a lot of these records where, like, you can see, like, his company records, like, in their public, and you can see all the debt and the reds in some cases.
I'm not familiar with Re-Imperator, but I think wasn't it like with Imperator, like he was in the red or something?
Yeah.
So like he didn't even make like a big profit from that. That was just like,
He's on a loss.
Yeah, he was at a loss. So it's just like, no, he's not making a lot of money. If anything, was it him that said it, or is this just like a common thing? It's just like bands are just really elaborate, like t-shirt companies.
Oh, it wasn't him. It was, I think it might have been Chris even, but yeah, that is the general consensus of the touring industry at the minute. And so it's just like, get angry at the right people. Like, yeah, if it comes out that Tobe is suddenly fucking driving around in a gold-plated Lamborghini and stuff, then yeah, we can get pissed. But like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like the big evil man corporations that are pulling this shit.
I loathe to suggest anything with Jared Leto in it, but if you want to see a really good documentary about the way the music industry works, he made a documentary called Artifact. When they got sued by Virgin Media, EMI, they got sued for 30 million because they basically wanted out of their contract. And they broke down all the kind of money that, that, like, whenever, I think I've mentioned this before, but they still put insurance, like, they'll charge bands insurance for shipping on digital music releases.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And you're like, what? When's it gonna get broken? Over the superhighway? Like, and yeah, that, like, again, like I said, I love to recommend anything Jared Leto made, but that is, like, it's a really good source of a lot of information about the way contracts breaking down contracts, breaking down what they pay out, and also as well, like, there's, like, it's common knowledge that streaming is absolutely awful for artists now. Like, they make, like, not even a whole penny on most streams. Like, I think it's like, if you buy one t-shirt, that's the equivalent of like 30 streams of a song or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's better to buy the t-shirts than it is to listen to the music on Spotify, and it's terrible. Like, the music industry is awful, and I blame Lars Ulrich.
Napster bad. So get on to a slightly more exciting topic. Do we think that we won't get a Papa reveal until Manchester, or do you think we'll get something before?
I think we might. I think if anything, we might just get like another like weird teaser again. But I really do think it's gonna be like we won't have anything until maybe either right before Manchester or literally at the Manchester show.
I
Yeah.
really hope they don't add another fucking special date somewhere in like a fucking nightclub in fucking
Berlin.
Liverpool. Yeah, or something. Like, and that's gonna be where
Like-
the Passover is, or whatever.
Tobias, my family's starving.
I'm excited. Like, I know, like, everybody now is on the kind of train of maybe he's ditching the latex masks for like a half.
I was gonna
mask.
say that's my tinfoil theory right now. Just
Yeah.
literally just based on the poster, because like if you look at the poster, like you have like this like it's like a half skull thing where it's like it's literally the eyes and it's like right around the nose, and it's like, and people have pointed this out on Twitter and they've made their edits and everything. It reminds me a lot of the Red Death mask from Phantom of the Opera. Where it's literally just that half mask where the mouth is exposed and everything.
Also, as well, if you look at the poster as well, I seen somebody point this out. If you look at the poster and look at the eyes, there looks like string coming off the sides. Which can I just say, like having like it's always been that kind of joke of like, Copia, there's somebody inside you, man in there. It's gonna be so strange to finally see the man in there, you know?
Yeah, people are like saying like, oh, he wouldn't do that because he's not comfortable with his image of like
Well-
being, but he's also got claustrophobia, which has
Yeah.
been apparently getting worse over the years.
Also, as well, I feel like that man is definitely feeling himself a lot more than the last time he said that, because look at the locks on that man at the minute. You know what I mean?
Because I think he initially like was saying that like it was still during like the pre-Cal era where you know like at that point he was just like the exposure was very recent. So like he was literally behind a mask and like behind the scenes for so long, and now he was coming into light. So like yeah, he wasn't like super confident at first. Like my God, his first face appearance, he wore a disguise.
Yeah.
So you know, like, so he wasn't confident then, but like every award show he's been invited to now, man has showed up. He has showed up.
I like he said he doesn't like he like that interview is really good because he said he never saw himself being a rock star. That's why he always kind of came up with all the different characters, you know, because like he didn't see Tobias Forge from the Shopping being a thing. He saw Mary Gore being a rock star, you know. But I love the fact that he's, if it is like the way we think it's gonna happen, like first off, it's probably as well for medical reasons because like he has a deviated septum. And so it is going to be hard for him to breathe in there anyway. Like, I'm honestly surprised he's managed to do it for this long with a deviated septum. I don't even have a deviated septum, and if I have my masks and shit on, I get so panicky so quick. So I don't know how the fuck he's doing it.
And then the mental claustrophobia
Yeah,
as well.
and also just the feeling of it being like sticky to your face when you're sweating.
Sneezing in it ain't fun, apparently.
Oh God, no! I can imagine it wouldn't be. I'm just really happy that if he is starting to feel a bit more like if he is feel a bit more comfortable in the fact that he feel like if it is what's going to happen, he feels a bit more comfortable in the fact that it's like, I can't put this on now, and people won't be immediately like, what are you doing? People are going to be like, oh my God, Slay King!
I do notice a difference as well of like, you know, when they've done like I think it was like the BBC Radio live shows where they've not been masked because they're not filming it, and when he sings without the mask like quote live, compared to with the mask, you can hear a difference. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just like, oh, when he's unmuzzled, he's gonna sound mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
He said himself that he thinks he's a better singer without the mask.
Yeah, what was it? He's putting on a pair of flip-flops to play a soccer game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be more comfortable for him. It's gonna be so strange seeing facial facial expressions.
Oh,
rather than being
I'm not
like,
ready.
looking at this blank face mask, going, does he look sad? Like, is he smiling? What's happening here? Now we're gonna be
The
like looking at this
moment, the
face.
moment I see, the moment I see that little Swedish smile, like during a show, I'm just gonna fucking cry.
I did say, because like we've got GA for Manchester, I'm bringing binoculars because I need
Yeah,
to see. Obviously, it's not
opera
going to be
glasses.
documented as well. Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Mimic doing the kind of roll up, disposable camera thing, you know.
So, I mean, we've been talking a lot about the mask, but no one's really discussed what do we think the costume in, even, and the color schemes.
So I can see
Pink,
from the
purple,
color
green.
schemes that we got
Oh.
some pink and purple. So he's after my own heart. So I'm so obsessed. Also, we haven't mentioned this yet, but a few people obviously mentioned online the logo's chrome.
Everything is chrome in the future.
Future. Oh, also, we forgot to mention this in the chapter, in chapter 18. Before that's like the fucking locks jammed. What a fiasco! Like before all that, but like up to it, it was like they were like playing like almost like synthwave music.
It sounded very Stranger Things.
Oh, good. That sounds so great. I'm so excited. I think people were. I guess what was funniest thing about the tour announcement was people were so busy screaming and shouting at each other, and there's like a little pocket of people in the corner of Twitter going, "Guys, we might have just heard new Ghost music."
I'm very much here for synth. I think it's going to be very
Van
Oh,
Halen.
I had okay. I thought it was gonna be very. You know how I keep banging on about this like post-apocalyptic future Terminator
Yeah.
style type thing. I did see.
Oh.
Okay, let me pull this up. I found a theory the other day on TikTok, and I know TikTok is not always great for theories, but I actually liked this one. One
Urzo's
second.
coming back. Here's my 10 reasons why.
No,
One, he's got this thing. He's wearing purple. What?
one thing we forgot to mention is the fact that they've called the tour so far the Redacted tour because obviously they're not
Sounds like
giving
an
away the
S.
album.
It sounds like an S or a C because if you listen to Saltarian talking, it sounds like it goes or
Yeah.
you know, like kind of.
So
Yeah.
this theory is from another emeritus on TikTok. I think we met at the premiere, so hi if you listen. And they think that it's going to be called something like the Fear Tour, and obviously we've got the poster, which is a reference to Cape Fear, and then obviously Fear Tour sounds a little bit like theater, the same way we had Imperator, Imperator type thing.
Yeah.
They went into like a little thing about pantomime and obviously it being a play of like theater and blah blah blah. And it's like, you
They
know,
also there was a one of the ads. They said something wicked this way comes, which is a line from Macbeth, which is again theater.
yeah, and obviously you don't have your phone out in a theater and things
Yeah.
like that.
God, could you imagine if Broadway fans started freaking out by not being able to take videos of Wicked? Chord Jane.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that song is, Wicked. I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
Define gravity.
But no,
gravity.
I like that theory, and I like the whole sort of fear of future type thing that's going on. But yeah, and then I still state I don't think it's going to be a pupper. We're going to get Bishop Barry.
Bishop Barry.
I am riding the Bishop Barry theory till I die.
Because I kind of go I'm about it just because like since you brought that up, I've been looking up a lot of pictures of Bishop miters, and a lot of Bishop miters are taller than the standard like Pope miter.
Yeah.
And the shadow, if you haven't noticed, is very Megamind.
Also, I will say, like, just for lore reasons, I can't imagine Copia just letting somebody come in and be Papa when he had to work for it. He's like, no,
Exactly.
you have to also earn it because fuck you. That's why.
It's also just like a thing of like, is he gonna make him work for it because he just thinks like he has to work for it, or is he actually gonna know that that's his brother, it's his twin?
Well, this is the thing. Yeah. Is it his twin, or has he just got a
It
twin
has
who's
to
like the
be.
janitor? Maybe the janitor is his twin, and then the new Bishop Barry is just someone else.
Well, if he's going more of like a a kind of half mask, bare face type thing, it's definitely he's gonna definitely go for the fraternal twins. But I was like, which I'm kind of sad about because I'm like, I could have seen old Kobe's face, but I get it, you know what I mean? But like,
I think the old Copia face was like even more claustrophobic than the
oh yeah,
current one anyway.
100%.
So
Yeah, it was so tight, like,
it's definitely wishful thinking. But like if you look at it from like a realistic standpoint, it's just like he he changed that mask for a reason.
I know. Like he turned Kobe into a bobblehead for a very specific reason. Like if you look, because I feel like it's really funny because like you don't really notice it, especially like when he's like whenever he like I feel like there's two different masks for Kobe. Like there's obviously the blank mask with no paint, and then the painted mask. You know, and obviously they're two different masks, but I feel like they're two different sizes as well. Like the stage mask is definitely bigger than the chapter masks, and you could really see how big it was during Right Here Right Now when he had his jacket and all off and he just had the like fluffy shirt on.
Yeah.
You could just see that it's like that man is like literally a Funko Pop. Like and like also it's kind of funny seeing, like, I know we've seen Copia talk on stage and stuff, but during Right Here Right Now it was kind of funny seeing Copia talk backstage with that mask on. It was, for some reason, to me it felt very strange saying it. I don't know why. But
It's also weird seeing him with Sister and Nil in Right Here Right Now too, just because like the only time we ever see him interact with them is he was either a cardinal or he was just plain face. So it's
yeah,
just
I
like
wanted
this is weird.
I want to talk about the promoting of this this next tour, sort of backtailing, if that's the word, backtailing off the
backtracking.
off the previous era, because the tour poster features Frata and still Sister and Nil on the poster with the little painting photo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Definitely.
like,
And because if I definitely, like, people obviously have that theory that it's gonna like Papa 5 or Bishop Barry or whatever, he's gonna be definitely antagonistic because obviously Cape Fear is about somebody who was like wrongfully like they thought they were wrongfully imprisoned, and then
okay.
they basically move to the same he moves to the same town as the family that got him put in jail and harasses them, but like not to the point where they can ever get him arrested. Like he'll like we were talking about The Simpsons earlier. That episode,
I was just about to say,
whenever
is it like the thing with
exactly.
like Bart's twin?
No, it's a Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob gets let out of jail, and then he starts like going to the cinema and all with where the Simpsons are, and they have to get put in like witness protection program. That's literally Cape Fear. That episode is literally Cape Fear. So if you don't want to watch Cape Fear, you should. It's a good movie. But if you don't want to, you can go watch the Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob stands on all the rakes and kind of get an idea of what like the plot is of like they kind of get put into like witness protection, move to a different town. He finds them, and there's like, you know, he follows them around and harasses them, but he never does anything that can get them arrested. So like, there's that theory that people have on Twitter of where like Papa 5 or whoever is gonna be antagonistic towards Copia because, you know, Copia got to be Papa or whatever, and now he gets to do it, and he's just gonna be like a kind of an antagonist almost himself.
I wonder. I wasn't here for the era changeover between Terzo and Copia, but you know, like how you scroll on TikTok and you're getting an ad for the tour now, and it's showing like the previous tour footage and things like that. Did that happen? I don't know if you know Cammy or anyone, but like I wonder if that happened where they were still showing Terzo even though like he was already yeeted off stage, because I find that very interesting. I wonder if someone's going to pull like some dude in I am blaming you, America. In America is going to be like, this isn't like what I saw on TikTok and was advertised. This is all the kids.
I don't think we had we didn't really have like a lot of like promo videos for it. To be fair, Ghost was very different back in the day. So there wasn't like a lot of like promo videos for it outside of like what like they obviously what they shared with like the chapters and everything, and like the poster had like fucking Copia on it before we even knew what Copia looked like.
I'm in the background.
Yeah, because like we didn't really have anything really. Like we didn't have like this promotional stuff, and like even when it came to like reselling tickets and everything, like people weren't even using like the proper pictures or anything. Like when I bought my ticket to go see them in 2018, my picture was a primo.
Oh, really?
The picture when I bought my ticket, I was like, I got so scammed because like this man's been gone
Isn't
for
an
a
old
while.
decrepit man? This isn't an old decrepit man crunkling about stage. This is a slightly less old decrepit man frolicking
Well-
about stage. Very
Literally,
different.
but it's just like, a lot of things have changed. Things are just different now. So like we didn't really have like these like promo videos. Like even like a few like with this like recent era, we didn't have a lot of like promo videos. It wasn't until like later on, like when they did the promo video in like Denver, like I was like the first like promo video I had seen in a while. And then before that, it was just like random footage from like, the most previous tour.
The kind of long and short of it is, don't panic about the tour. You'll have fun. Even without your phone, you will have fun. Because I know a lot of people bring up, oh, I've got autism or ADHD and I've got bad memory. So do I. But like if you really enjoy yourself at the shows, you'll remember. Like again, like I have autism and my memory is very like if I like trying to remember shit I did last week, no thing. But I can remember if a concert I went to 15 years ago because I had a great time and I don't have any photos. I have like 4 photos from it maybe.
I think I don't remember where I specifically saw this, but it's just like I may not remember everything that happened, but I remember how I felt.
Exactly.
And yeah. And also like I don't want to get too into it because I have to leave, but also just because like it's just like a whole thing. Because I remember seeing people like also saying it's like this whole like no phone thing is anti-fan for fans that can't go to shows for X, Y, and Z reasons. Because I personally feel like there are other things that you can look into. There are like other aspects of Ghost that you can like invest into. So like they have the merch, they have their videos, they have music, obviously. And with the no phones, there is a possibility that footage could be recorded and everything. It's just like, obviously it's still up in the air, but I don't know. I don't find it very fair to call it anti-fan.
Yeah.
Just because like Tobias made this decision because he wants to experience a good show as a performer, and in turn it puts on a good show for people who attend it as well.
Yeah.
So
My opinion is Tobias Forge did this because he hates me. He said, fuck Alva, fuck her photos. She's gone.
Yeah.
The end.
honestly,
He hates my series on
tired.
TikTok.
He was just tired of Cerising phones. He was you know what? He also hated being exposed for forgetting his own lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to
That's
know.
the
if he's
real
fucking-
reason.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, my final words of wisdom are, we just don't know.
No.
Stay tuned.
I am all ears. The Ghost Fan Cast.